to show you how to easily refresh your wood furniture with a simple process, and you can take your pieces from looking like this to looking like this. Hello friends, I'm Katie Selden. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a really quick DIY. I'm going to be using one of my favorite products. It's a gel stain by General Finishes. I'm not sponsored by them. I would love to be. That would be really cool. It's a product I've used for years. I carried it in my store. I have a massive amount of experience with it. It is a lot more popular now than it used to be to leave furniture in its more natural wood state rather than painting it, which I also did for years. But it is so hard to strip it down, refinish it, get all of the finish off. So today I'm going to take you through the process of refreshing a piece of furniture that is worn, scratched, scuffed, not really deeply damaged, but stuff that is more surface wear, without having to strip it down and refinish it completely from raw wood. So as long as you want it to be the same finish or a little bit deeper or darker, then this process is for you, and I encourage you to stick around because it will change the game if you used to do it the other way. And at the very end, I'm actually going to show you how much I paid for this piece and how much I sold it for. So stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead and get into it. So these are just a few of the pieces that I picked up over. The first one is this a little bit low, almost like entryway table. The top comes off for some reason, don't know why, but I love the legs on it. And the top has beautiful wood, so I'm hoping to just restore that and refresh it. Just wanted to show you the before so you can appreciate the after.
And here's just another quick look at it. I forgot to get a before video of the full thing, but you can see here that it is pretty worn and hazy. There were definitely some watermarks and things that had stained the top. Here I've already sanded the top mostly. I'm just giving it a good surface sanding with a light to medium grit sandpaper. I'm not using a lot of pressure. I'm really just trying to break the gloss or the sheen off of it for the gel stain to be able to stick. Next, I'm going to wipe down the surface to remove all dust. I normally use a very lightly damp rag. I don't want it really wet because that can swell the grain of the wood. A terry cloth or microfiber towel also works really well. Next, I'm going to jump right into staining. So I grabbed my gel stain in the color Java and a piece of sponge that I just use from like camping foam or different things that I've had around. Some people use socks or foam brushes. I tend to find that to be flimsy and get really goopy. This one gives me a little bit more control. Now, as far as the stain goes, there are many colors that you can choose from. I picked Java because it was the deepest color in this piece of wood. There's a lot of variation to it. Okay, and here I just realized I forgot gloves. This stuff is urethane and it will make your hands really messy, so warning, it doesn't come off very easily. I had very little left in this can, but typically I would pour some out on a piece of tinfoil or a paper plate so that the can doesn't dry out. That is one warning, it will dry out fast, especially if it's on a warm day. I normally work with small bits and overlap as I go. I work with the grain as much as possible, and I don't overwork it because it can start to get tacky really fast and start pulling back off. You don't have to rush, but just get it on there as quickly as you can and move on to the next section and just keep working along. And I got myself again. So I'm working from the bottom up. Sometimes I work from the top down. It just depends on the piece and how easy it is to get to. This one I chose to do the bottom first because I knew I'd be hitting my head on the top and I didn't want to get stain in my hair. I'll actually link this in my Amazon storefront, so if you want to go check out this gel stain, a little goes a long way with this gel stain, as you'll see, and it can be used for all sorts of things: kitchen cabinets, furniture pieces, banisters, chair rails, doors, and so on. But anything that is just a natural wood finish or that you want to give a refresh to is just a really great product. And as you can see, as long as it's the same tone or darker, there is very little prep work. Although they do now have some lighter colors that you could put a white or a gray wash, so that could look good and lighten up some pieces as well. Okay, now you're going to see where it really transforms the wood and how it really gives a refresh to a piece. Again, I'm putting on very little. I'm just rubbing it in really well, sometimes in a circular motion to kind of get into the wood grain and just get any blemishes or kind of worn through spots, just work them into that. You can see there's a little bit of a crack there, so I worked it into that as well. Just getting as good a coverage as possible, but look at how beautiful that wood grain is and how it's just popping now that I'm putting this stain on here. I did find out later that it was actually like an 1860s, 1880s Empire style card table. The top had been altered and split. It used to have a flip open top, I'm guessing, because of some of the holes in the back, but it was changed over time. And so it's just one single solid piece of wood, but such a beautiful piece for an entryway. All right, one more look at what it was before. This doesn't even do it justice. It looked way worse in person. And now for the after. You can see the unfinished corner of my living room. Don't judge. We're still working on finishing that. But it is such a stunning piece. I did end up putting one coat of the gel stain mixed with a little bit of their gloss top coat. Just did a real thin coat on top so that the shine on the top matched the shine on the bottom. But overall, that was pretty much it. So if you have a piece laying around that is just kind of worn and looking old and aged, or you kind of want to upgrade the finish to it and maybe make it a little bit deeper tone, highly recommend this product. Go grab it on my Amazon storefront, and I would be happy to help if you have any questions. I did end up popping this on Marketplace, and I sold it for $2.50, which I was super excited about. I found it at a roadside market for only $20, so that is a $230 markup minus some supplies, which were very minimal.
Okay, well, I hope you found that helpful. If you like DIY projects like this, I do them on a regular basis. I have 3 different categories on my channel. One is coffee chats that are kind of conversational style, very casual, where we just chat about topics from a biblical worldview. And then I post videos that are more in-depth Bible study videos, and then more home or DIY topics. So if any of those are of interest to you, I encourage you to stick around, and I'll see you in the next one.